G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. Racing now moves to Hawkesbury for this Saturday and of course joined by Mark Shean and Mark Rhoden to find a few winners on the card. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself. We've gone from wet racing at Randwick. What does it look like at Hawkesbury this week?
It'll be wet there again, unfortunately. So I think they had plenty of rain yesterday and they've given out a heavy 8 this morning. Clear day in Sydney today, so might be on the improve, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, wet track Hawkesbury, rail true. What do you think?
Firstly, I should put my hands up to tipping the first loser of this part of the autumn. I was spouting off that wait till we get to Hawkesbury and Gosford, there'll be good fours, and 0 out of 1 so far on those two. Look, it's actually, strangely, just going over the last year or so of Hawkesbury meetings, it seems harder to make ground when the track is wet, whether the rail's out a little bit or in the true. It's this day last year, things like Exo Boom got down the middle and won the Guineas, but that was on a firmer track. And just the recent tracks on wet, it's been very much on speed and off fence. Although you could be nearest fence in run, but getting to the middle of the track in the straight. So I'm just a little bit against back markers at this stage, but that's open to change, obviously.
Okay. Well, we will preview the feature races 6 through 9 on the card. We'll start with the Gold Rush, the listed race over 1,100 metres, and Malkovich is favourite at $2.25 from Tycoonist at $4.80. 11.11's $5.50 for Toos, Marbusha, both around that $10 mark and upwards for the rest. Mark Shean, any thoughts here in race 6?
I suppose his favourite is a slight query in this sort of ground. The wetter the worse for him. I'm just going away from him. I thought Tycoonist trialled quite well, and I thought he was very consistent last time in and should have won first up last preparation. This might be a different style of race, though, if Malkovich gets along and he's got to chase a little bit, but by the same token, I think he sets up nicely here with not a lot of weight on his back, so I'd rather be on him around that each-way mark. Malkovich has trialled since his last run, where he failed on the heavy, where he didn't get control, but I think it all depends on how wet the track is and how the pattern is for the day with Malkovich.
Yeah, for sure. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts?
Yeah, now that it's almost certain to be in the heavy range, I don't know how short a price I want to take Malkovich. He's certainly probably going to look the winner at some stage, given his racing style. I expect him to lead here and probably lead pretty comfortably. Couldn't. What is he? 230 odd best, 225. That's too short for me. I've got Tycoonist second pick and probably a little bit of value at his current price, but I'm not going to bet early. I'm going to wait and see here. Thought Abellagio missed with a big weight drop, had some hope at double figure odds. That was, it didn't get near a Thelrec, but he's in outstanding form, that horse, this prep, and down 7 kilos, handles the wet. I thought it was a chance. I was looking to give Marbusha a track when I was a little bit hopeful the track might improve, but now that's not the case. I really do think she'd need a dry track to produce her best, so I'm going to swerve her. I've got a Malkovich, Tycoonist, Abellagio miss at this stage, but I'm going to wait and see.
Okay. Race 7 on the card is the Hawkesbury Guineas, Group 3 over 1,400 metres, and Mr. Mozart continues to firm, now into $2.20. Lock Eagle, $5.50 best available on Friday morning from Villana at $8, Flying Crazy at $9, Party for 1 at $13, I Am Lethal 14, upwards the rest there. Mark Shean, thoughts here in the Guineas?
I can't see a stack of speed in this race. I think Villana and Mr. Mozart will probably roll forward and control the pace. I don't know if Mark agrees with that or not. Maybe something drawn wide might try and punch up, but doesn't look to be a stack of speed. I suppose Devil Straight from barrier number 1 can be handy again. I think Mr. Mozart is certainly the one to beat. He's back to 3-year-old company here. He won a Doncaster Prelude, beating out Playboy, who was impressive through the carnival. He races on speed, he handles the wet, and even though he's got 59, does look hard to beat. Villana is, he certainly got a beautiful ride from Sam Clipperton the other day, but he does get through the ground well. Away from that, Lock Eagle probably safely held the other day. You'd think Villana would probably have more improvement than Lock Eagle, just looking at them in the yard the other day. I'm Lethal paraded poorly at Randwick and may not handle this really wet track. I think the query here is Party for 1 with the blinkers on. I know she was soundly beaten the other day, but if you can make ground from the back, she might be able to set a little bit closer in the run with the blinkers on, and she might be a rough chance. But I think Mr. Mozart's certainly the one to beat.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I thought Mr. Mozart was definitely the one to beat. Missed the price here. It was $3-ish yesterday. Some small deductions will come out, but even allowing for that, it has shortened up considerably since yesterday. He's too short for me now at 220, but I'm not really looking to bet around him either. I've got Lock Eagle second. I suppose on SP profile, you have him ahead of Villana, and that was a really testing track. I don't think this one will be that bad, and maybe that just tips the scales back in his favour against Villana, but I do have them second and third pick, and frankly a bit of a gap to the rest of the others I wanted to entertain, such as Party for One, the one Mark mentioned, and Flying Crazy do look like they get back, and if I'm right about the track pattern, they'll probably need a lot to go their way to beat the likes of Mr. Mozart. So, look, yeah, Mr. Mozart clear on top, but yeah, just a bit short for me, a bit like the previous race.
Race 8 on the card is the Group 3 Hawkesbury Crown over 1,300, and Brooks Spires just trimmed up a little bit into $3.40. Wonder Bar's $7.50. Never Talk is 8 with Fashionel around that $7.50 mark, but that has trimmed up as well. Jump the Broom $8. Mirror Vision is on the drift out to 13 and Nudges 15. Mark Shean, a few familiar faces here.
Yes, another race that I didn't find a lot of pace in, I've got to say. I think Mirror Vision will get a good run here from barrier number 1, but I'm not sure that they'll go breakneck speed. I think Brooks Spire certainly is a lightly framed type and ready to run well fresh, and she was an amazing run there against Expat on that bias track at Rose Hill on heavy ground last time in, where you can only win on the fence, and she shed 3 wide. If she reproduced that, I think she's certainly the one to beat. Fashionel's the other one who should roll forward. I forgot to mention it. But I think Brooks Spire, nevertheless, will get a very good run in transit here. A slight query with Mirror Vision on this sort of ground, but I think that maybe that good run in the Coolmore, she was just a little bit flat at the next run. They put blinkers on her, and she's drawn barrier number 1. So I'm expecting an improved run from her. Not sure that Fashionel's overly comfortable in this sort of ground. And I didn't think Cliff's Arc was hopeless on its run at Randwick. First up there was a little bit wide, might be a speck at longer odds, but I think Brooks Spire's certainly the one to beat.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, Brooks Spire's a horse that you've had time for in the past.
Yes, I have. She's got a very good bank of ratings and performances. And look, to be honest, I think she's probably as close to as good a thing as the likes of Mr. Mozart and Milkovic are, and she's a considerably better price. So this is a bet, this one. Drawn 11, I think. Yeah, without too much speed on, just rolls forward and pops in somewhere maybe in the second or third pair and off the fence, which I think is going to be a plus as well. Fashionel, if she gets some sort of control, can be a threat. And then I was out to Jump the Broom, who I expect will go forward too, and has handled wet before. Just sort of got a bit run of her legs in Melbourne, I thought, last time at Caulfield in a really high pressure 1100. Perhaps just a more gently run 1300 will be more suitable for her, but I'm not making a case that she can win. I just think she might be a place chance. So I'm, pretty keen on Brooks Spire.
Okay, that's a really good push there for the favourite there in the Crown. And let's move to the Gold Cup. Race 9, 1,600 metres. Art Cadeau is favourite at the moment, out to $5.50. Kerwin's Lane's trimmed up into $6.50. Imaging, $7.50. Brutality is $8. The Frontman, $11. And then you've got a Tissue, Archidemus, Creaderis. They're all around that $13, $14 mark. Mark Shean, your thoughts here in the Gold Cup?
Oh, looks a pin job to me, really. Tough race. Look, if Kerwin's Lane I had on top, but going into this heavy range, I know he's won on the heavy, but he won at Canterbury one day where the fence was on fire, and that's where he was. So it might have flattered him in the ground. A couple of other runs on wet tracks since then have been only so-so. So, just getting into that heavy range has knocked me about a bit. Look, Arcado was pretty unlucky the other day. You could have plenty of angles here. Probably Arcado for the record, but I think it's a tough race. I'm not going to have a bet.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's not a race I'm keen to bet in. I came up with Kerwin's Lane and Imaging. You have to be very forgiving of Imaging. I got beaten about 250 metres at Newcastle, but he is McDonald sticks and he's a wet tracker. Or he has handled the wet, certainly in the past, and from the draw might get an okay run, I think. But I'm not keen. Art Cadeau, I can see why he's favourite. That was a very eye-catching run at Randwick last time. He's never really, I thought, had the figures to put him in this sort of class, but he's close. But just can't really come at him as favourite in a Group 3 like this against some reasonable opposition. As I said, Imaging and Kerwin's Lane were the two, but a host of them could win. A dozen of them could win without surprising me at all. It's just one of those typical, listed or Group 3 handicaps where, they all target it. I do think Kerwin's Lane has targeted this race. He really did seem to run out of condition first up at Randwick over 1400, and I expect him to be peaking here, but the track might be too wet for him. So, sorry, I can't be much help to you here.
Right, that's all good. I think we've got a good enough push on the card anyway, but I'll get the remainder of your thoughts if there's any other best plays that you're having on the day. Mark Shean.
Yeah, I liked Calipore in race number 4. I thought it was a very good win in his first Australian start. Admittedly, he got a gem of a ride there from Hugh Bowman, and he's replaced by Dylan Gibbons, who is a very capable rider and takes 3 kilos off his back. So if they can make ground from the back of the field, I think that Calipore will be hard to beat, and I think Brooks Spire would be set up for that first up win. So they're my 2 best.
Okay, very good. Mark Rhoden, I think I know what your best might be, but is there anything else that allures at this stage?
Yeah, Brooks Spire is the best. The other race I wanted to bet in was the 2-year-old, especially at the prices that were offered yesterday. Number 3, Basquiat, I thought its form was... the form from that Warwick Farm run was considerably stronger than the Hawkesbury form that some of the others in the market, like Master Showman and Burgunder, come through. The thing that went to Brisbane, Green Shadows, has got a chance. It's got a platform, but I think Basquiat is the one, clearly the one to beat. No, giving $7 in places yesterday. It's into about $4.80 now. It's still backable at $4.80, but I thought it was a real good price yesterday. And I thought the danger was actually number 4, Owen County. I liked the way it hit the line at Kembla and its debut win. I didn't actually like the way it hit the line on the day because I was on the leader that it ran down, but that's racing. But I think if they can make ground and he's double figure odds, he could be the danger to Basquiat. But I was pretty happy with my 2 plays in that race.
Okay, looks good. Sounds very good there. All the best to you both at Hawkesbury there on Saturday. We'll catch up next week, and it's Gosford next week, isn't it?
The Coast. Yep.
Very good, very good. I can't wait. It's my favourite race of the year, the Coast. All right, guys, have a good week. I'll talk to you then.
See ya.
Bye.